Okay, so today we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to graft the toes of a sock. You can use it for other things as well, but this is basically how do you get that nice flat knit stitches, everything together. So this is called grafting, basically I'm going to use the Kitchener stitch to do that. So this is the first sock. It's finished. It's already done. We're going to move it over there. So I just finished knitting this one. We're going to take the extra needle out and we're going to unfold the sock. So here is the first end. So first thing we need to do is get all of these stitches onto just 2 needles that are parallel to each other. Obviously I like to knit my, sorry about that. Obviously I like to knit my socks on 4 needles, but the principle is the same when you get to the end for if you're knitting with circular needles, whatever. You just need to get the stitches all parallel to each other. This is my basic go-to, lots over the years, everything works for me sock recipe. I start with 60 stitches. These are, I believe, 275s or 3 1/4, can't remember. I'll put it in the comments. And I do 10-15 rows of ribbing. Then I knit, I do a short row heel, knit to the toes, decreases, and then I will do my grafting with 8 stitches on each side. So 2, 4, 6, 8, yep. So you want an even number of stitches on the needles when you're going to do that, which generally is what you're doing with socks anyway, because you want both the front and back to be the same. So when you're going to set up for Kitchener stitch, I'm going to slide these like this. You want the yarn on coming out of the back. So what I'm going to do is give myself a nice long tail here. Take my little scissors, cut my tail. You want it long but not too long so that it's not getting in your way. Then I have wide eye needle with a ideally bluntish point. So there's that, and I'm going to stretch that out. Okay, so there's a setup and then basically repeat the same pattern everywhere for it. So the first thing that you're going to do is take your needle with your tail on it, insert it as if you were going to purl through a stitch on the front needle. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this close, so then you're going to pull it through. That's the tail from my other end, sorry, so you shouldn't be there. And then you go to the back and you insert it as if you're going to knit through that back stitch. You only go that direction once because you need to set up the first one. After that, it's always the same pattern, and you always basically are going to be working with these 2 stitches, then these 2 stitches. Sorry, she seems to have kind of gone out of focus, so is that better? Yeah, there we go, that's better. And what you're going to do each time now is, and I always basically chant it as I go, knit, purl, purl, knit, and then you slip the first 2 stitches off. So what that looks like is, now I'm going to take this one through as if I was going to knit it, knit, then this one as if I'm going to purl it, then pull that, and I've left that, and I dropped that first stitch as I've done it. Then I go back here and I purl, take it off, and knit. So what you'll see is the second part of that is the same as that first setup section that we did. And now you just kind of tighten it. You can tighten most of the row at the beginning, but I find that the first stitch is good if you tighten at the beginning. And then the same thing again. So it's knit, slip this one off, purl, pull it through, and you want to just make sure that you're pulling so that the stuff that's already done is on the outside of it, okay? And then you're going to purl up here and knit this one again. So as you can see, so let's make sure that we're pulling all of these pieces on this side. Okay. Then knit this one, purl this one, make my tail a little bit, there we go. Purl this one, knit this one. So can you see those? Okay, so let's just do this for a second, pull these out. So we have a few of them now here, so if we look, what you will see here is very loose stitches. So here you can see that actually that looks like the inside, or this one's probably better. There's your stitch. And we have loose, very loose ones all along. So what we can do is we'll pull this, it will tighten them. Like I said, that first one often is a little bit of a pain in the arse and doesn't like to tighten. So you can tighten them individually. Each one of these as you pull obviously is going to pull the ones before it. So there's that. And it makes a nice one. So let's go back and go through the first one as if to purl it. Oh, sorry. No, wrong way. Go through the first one as if to knit it. It's already had the purl. Then you go through as if to purl it. And you leave it on. Then as if to purl the back. And knit the back. Then just get those right there. And then we knit this one off. Set up the next one for a purl. Purl this one off. Set the next up for a knit. Knit that one off. Whoops, don't lose the one in the back. Front one. Again, sorry. Then purl it, then knit. Sorry. And again, we're trying to keep them so that those are in front. We're going to knit this one off, purl, keep the other tail out of the way, purl this guy off, knit through him, then we're going to knit that one off, purl that one off, pull them through. Now before we do everything, what I like to do is open this guy up and just see how everything has come along. So as you can see here, they're not even because some of them are pulled tighter. You can see kind of where it is. It's the right shapes, but they're not really even. So that's when hold here and then pull. And if you hold onto it and pull, what you'll see is it actually pulls all the way across, and then you can even them out, you can stretch them a little bit, and you've gotten rid of all of those extra little lumps in places. And your toes then pretty tight. And like I said, you can stretch it back out if you want to make, if you if you wanted it a little wider, but generally speaking, I find that by the time I'm at the end of the toe, as long as it seals up nicely, I'm not worried about, it's not like it's not going to fit if my Kitchener stitches are tighter than my other stitches. So that's what it looks like on that side. And then what we're going to do is basically just find a nice little place to stick that needle just into the fabric so that I can turn the sock inside out. Turn it inside out. There's the needle poking through. Pull that through. And then you can take this and then just kind of finish off on the inside. I find that this yarn is fine enough that it doesn't really matter where I have done my weaving in my ends. It doesn't add bulk or anything to make it super uncomfortable. I wear my hand-knitted socks and dress shoes, and yeah, this is not going to be the make or break whether this is a comfortable sock. So don't get too hung up of, you know, what is that like right on top of my toe? Is that along the side? I just kind of do it wherever the needle comes out, and I've never had a problem where it meant I couldn't wear the sock. If your feet are super, super sensitive, like my brothers are like, have been since they were super little, like way crazy about fuzzies and, you know, the slightest irregularity in their socks, then you could, you know, experiment with where you want to do it. And, but like I said, for me, it's not a big deal. So that's the last bit done in. So I'm going to do that. Again, you can't really see it on the inside. It's just like it was knit together. It doesn't add any extra bulk. It's a great way to do it so that you're not creating a seam that could potentially cause bulk inside your sock, which would be uncomfortable. This just makes it super comfortable, super even. So that's the inside. And there's the outside. Still have to weave in that other tail, but now we zoom out a bit. So now we have finished pair of socks with perfectly grafted toes. So I hope that was helpful, and have a good one.